Christmas is supposed to be a time of joy, family, and giving. But what happens when the gift you receive becomes your worst nightmare? These are two chilling stories of Christmas gifts that left a trail of terror and death. Brace yourself for the gift that killed me on Christmas. Story. 5 years ago, a young woman named Clara decided to surprise her niece, Sophie, with a special Christmas gift, a delicate antique doll she had found at a thrift store. The doll was stunning, dressed in a white lace gown with eyes that seemed to follow you wherever you went. Clara thought it was perfect. She had no idea that the doll's past was anything but innocent. Christmas morning arrived, and Sophie tore open the wrapping paper to reveal the doll. She was delighted. But that night, the house seemed to change. Sophie's parents woke to the sound of faint laughter coming from her room. When they checked, she was sitting upright in bed, the doll cradled in her arms. Sophie whispered, "She wants to play." At first, they thought it was just a child's imagination. But over the next few days, strange things began happening. Doors would slam shut on their own. Cold drafts would sweep through the house, and Sophie began speaking to someone they couldn't see. When asked, she'd reply, "It's her, my doll." Then, on New Year's Eve, Clara received a panicked call from Sophie's mother. Sophie had been found lying on her bedroom floor, her lips blue and her body cold. The doll sat on the bed, its eyes fixed on Sophie's lifeless form. An autopsy revealed no cause of death. Sophie had simply stopped living. Heartbroken and desperate for answers, Clara took the doll to the thrift store where she'd bought it. The shopkeeper's face went pale. That doll belonged to a little girl who died on Christmas Eve, 1923. Her spirit is said to cling to it. The doll now sits locked in a glass case in Clara's attic. She refuses to touch it, but claims that every Christmas she hears faint laughter coming from above. Story number 2. Jonathan loved vintage collectibles. So when he received a beautifully ornate music box from his girlfriend on Christmas morning, he couldn't have been happier. The box was carved with intricate patterns of holly and ivy, and when opened, it played a hauntingly beautiful melody. But something about the music felt wrong. That night, as Jonathan lay in bed, the melody began to play on its own. At first, he assumed it was a mechanical glitch. But then, the melody changed. It wasn't the cheerful tune he'd heard earlier. It was slower, darker, almost like a funeral march. The next day, Jonathan asked his girlfriend where she had found the music box. She hesitated before admitting that she'd bought it at a flea market from an old woman who warned her never to play it after midnight. They laughed it off until that night. At exactly 12:03 a.m., Jonathan was jolted awake by the sound of the music box. It was louder this time, almost deafening. He tried to open it to stop the sound, but the lid wouldn't budge. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his chest. He collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. His girlfriend found him the next morning, lifeless, clutching the music box. When she opened it, she found a handwritten note tucked inside. It read, "To the one who plays this tune, beware. It is the song of death." Police later discovered that the music box had once belonged to a grieving widow who played it every night after her husband's death, until she died of a heart attack holding it. The music box has never been seen again, but those who've heard its melody claim it's cursed, a death sentence wrapped in a haunting tune. 2 gifts, 2 lives lost. What would you do if the very thing meant to bring you joy became your undoing? This Christmas, remember, some gifts are better left unopened. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life horrors. Stay safe and beware of what you receive this holiday season. It might just be your last. Merry Christmas and good night.